This episode of Faces of Grand Prairie podcast is brought to you today with the help of these wonderful local business sponsors. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the podcast so you won't miss any of the upcoming great interviews. My Generosity Estate Sales has been providing estate liquidation services in Grand Prairie since 2015. They are a trusted member of the Grand Prairie community and a proud affiliate of the Arlington Board of Realtors. Generosity Estate Sales specializes in helping adult children through the emotionally difficult process of liquidating a loved one's estate and helping seniors downsize for their next phase of life. To find out more about their services or follow their upcoming sales, go to mygenerosityestatesales.com. Coffee News is a weekly publication delivered to restaurants, coffee shops, hotels, and anywhere people go to have a bite to eat or wait for service. Everything in Coffee News is fun and entertaining. It is a breath of fresh air for millions of readers tired of hearing only bad news. Coffee News is always positive. At Coffee News of Grand Prairie, their mission is to help small and medium-sized local businesses grow with affordable, exclusive advertising. This means that your ad is being viewed every day. Coffee News editions are placed in businesses where people are waiting for food and service. The distribution locations are chosen carefully to ensure you have the largest viewing audience. With exposure 3 meals a day, 7 days a week, your ad reminds current clients and customers to return to your business for products or services while constantly creating interest for potential new clients or customers. Go to coffeenewsgp.com to learn more. Mansfield Driving Academy is Mansfield's oldest driving school, serving the Grand Prairie, Mansfield, Arlington, and Kennedale areas since 2009. Their state-approved curriculum has been designed for maximum learning and designed to meet students where they are at. They offer both online and in-person classes for the convenience of their students and provide in-car lessons for both learning options. They are a DPS road test site and offer in-person testing options so you don't have to wait in line at the DMV. To find out more about their course packages, visit their website at mansfield-drive.com. Jenna Pecor is a realtor with Bancroft Realty and a proud member of the Arlington Board of Realtors. She's been helping people with their real estate goals in Grand Prairie for over 10 years, with a specialty in liquidating the estates of seniors. In today's real estate market, you need an agent with negotiation skills and experience with current market trends who'll be able to confidently guide you through your transaction. Jenna is that realtor who can make it happen for you one step at a time. Call Jenna at 214-558-4410 for a free consultation if you're thinking about buying or selling a home. And now, on to our episode. Hi, Mary. Welcome to the Faces of Grand Prairie podcast.
Hi, Jenna. Thank you for the invitation.
I'm so glad that you were able to come. So tell everybody who you are and why you're here.
Okay, well, I'm Mary Dominguez Santini. I'm the founder of the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce of Grand Prairie and also the founder for Hispanic Heritage Ambassadors, DFW, which is the Office of Cultural Affairs that balances having business to business and business to community. Business and community go together. And I'm here today. You invited me to come and talk a little bit about the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. And since I'm the founder, I can give you the information that you need or, so you can share it. And I live in Grand Prairie. I am from El Paso, Texas. I've been here 27 years, married, empty nester, 4 kids, 11 grandkids.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you so much. We have 2 high school graduates this year, one from South and one from GPISD, one from Arlington ISD as well. And, I'm very passionate about business and community. I'm passionate about serving. I'm a big collaborator. I like to collaborate. I like to share. I like to know people. I like to understand cultures to better serve them. And I work for everybody and with everybody. I like to learn. Life is a encyclopedia. And every time we change that page, we learn something new.
Absolutely. Absolutely. When did you found the
We founded the
chamber?
chamber 4 years ago. May 4th is going to be our fourth year. And we started with 0 members, but we started with a big vision. I met with, back then, our city manager was Steve Dye, who
Mhm.
I've known for years. Uh, and I said, listen, we had the COVID,
Mm.
and sad to say,
What, the COVID? What do you mean? No, I'm just
all right,
kidding.
remember when COVID, 10 businesses that we lost, Jenna,
Mm.
7 of those were Latinos. And not because the city didn't have the resources. We had the resources,
Mhm.
but we didn't have a way to communicate and let these people know, you know what, we can save your business. We can give you the resources to help you move forward. And that is sad. So
Mhm.
when I talked to Steve about it, and he said, you know what, Mary, I'm passionate about it. He said, if anybody can do it, that's going to be you. And let me tell you, Jenna, I pulled out a folder at City Hall. I put out my folder. I said, okay, thank you. I gave him the folder. He said, you come back whenever you're ready. I gave him the folder and he looked, he said, what? You already founded the incorporation? I said, yeah, those are the articles. We're ready to go. That's why I'm
Wow.
here. And I'm glad we did it. The chamber is needed in our community,
Mhm.
especially Grand Prairie being 48.8% Hispanic. We serve everybody, but when we have that void of not being able to fulfill and serve and cater to these people, we're missing something
Mhm.
as a city. And it hasn't been easy, okay, for us, but it's been made easy to us because we have great leadership. We have an amazing mayor who is the mayor
Amen.
for all,
Yes,
Jenna.
absolutely.
And I want to thank him and thank our new city manager, who's from El Paso as well. Um,
Is he?
yes, Mr.
Interesting.
Hill is from El Paso, and that's what has made our path, not as difficult as would be. Not that it's easy. Anybody that sits on a chamber president position, we all know. We know what it takes. We know the hard work, and we know it's not easy. But we also know that when we commit, we have to grow,
Mhm.
and not for us. We have to grow for the people that are behind us, for the commitment, and for the hope that they have placed on us to fulfill the resources, the opportunities, and bring the best to help them grow.
So, had you ever started a company before?
Yes, I'm a small business owner. I have a small business owner. I've been in business over 30 years. Um, I'm in special event planning and I do business consulting on the side. And that's where I got my passion. I've been involved in chambers all my life, not only here. I've been involved in chambers in Nuevo Mexico, New Mexico, and El Paso, Texas, where I'm from.
Mhm.
Uh, and every chamber is different.
Mm.
And I've learned how to serve, and I've learned the fortalezas, the fortitude, and also the weakness that can also kind of, which is lack of knowledge or lack of, opportunity that can really open our path and help us serve as we should properly.
Mhm.
But as a business owner, I can tell you I did start in an incubator here in DFW 27 years ago. When I got here, I said, we're going to work for anybody.
Ah, yeah.
I'm not. So I went to Oak Cliff and they had the incubator there. And Jenna, when I believe, and that's what has helped us grow so much, I brought back the incubator. I
Mm.
brought it back because nobody, you would ask incubator, what's that? People now still don't remember and know what the incubators are
Remind
for.
people that are listening.
And the incubators are small spaces, work areas that you form, courses that teach individuals, entrepreneurs, how to build their business properly,
Mm.
A through Z. And we have to understand when we educate these entrepreneurs, Jenna, on how to continue a pathway, how to start their business and do it properly. There's no shortcuts, let me tell you.
No, there's not.
That's one thing we need to let them know. Listen, we are in a city, in a state, in a world that we have regulations, we have laws, we have guidelines. Let's go by by the guidelines. Let's cross our T's and dot our I's so we can grow. Because at the end of the day, when these entrepreneurs invest their money, we want them to be in business forever,
That's
not
right.
for a year, for 2 years. That's not going to bring economic growth to our city. We want these entrepreneurs to start small but grow big.
I'm so glad you're saying this because, well, there's a couple things. First of all, you can get away with not following the path for a while. And I think
Mhm.
that sometimes this is what happens. It's like if you have a good product or a service and it starts immediately, like let's say that you have organic growth from the beginning, it's like you kind of miss some of the steps as you grow and then eventually it'll catch up to you.
Yes.
And that's what starts to happen is like over the long term, that's somehow some of these small businesses, that's how they stop because they've been doing things wrong or they haven't been collecting sales tax or they haven't been doing all these
And it
things
catches up to them.
and it catches up.
Mhm.
And I just went to a networking event on Friday where it was talking about self-employed and business owner financing
Mhm.
and setting yourself up financially for the long term because the majority of businesses don't go out of business because they don't have a good product. It's because the business owner goes bankrupt.
The lack of funding.
The lack of funding, they're not generating sales. They're financing from their own profits.
Mhm.
And I'm guilty of this too. I mean, I have 4 businesses now that I've incorporated and it's like helping people. It's not the lack of ideas. It's the follow through
Mhm.
that gets
Yes.
people. So,
Yes, and I'm glad that you're mentioning that, because that's one of the things that's included in our incubator program is the access to capital, is
mm,
building your business plan, is choosing the right CPA, the right attorney. Every business is going to need at one point an attorney or legal counsel.
sure.
Uh, you know how to start your business from A to Z, what grants are available, the resources that you have, location,
Mm,
sales tax, how to register your business properly. And those things are important that they understand.
yes.
As, access to capital, we're passionate about it because I tell the people when they come to us, I'm going to say 90% that come, they want access to capital. Look, banks are in business to make money.
Mm,
Okay. When they come to us and say, well, no, I went here and they didn't give me the loan. It's not that they say they didn't want to give. No, 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 Jenna. We start by changing that negative perception into positive. It's not that they didn't want to give you the loan, it's that you didn't have what they asked for
right.
to give you the loan. Not only for access to capital for your business, but when you're trying to refinance your home, when you're
Oh my
trying to
goodness.
buy a home, you need to understand credit. You need to have that business plan. You need to know how to walk into that bank like you own it.
I'm telling I just came from a meeting with a lender and that was one of the products that this bank is trying to offer is self-employed people financing for home ownership
Mhm,
because it's something that has been challenging
mhm,
for a long time. And so it's setting up your business to where that's part of your plan.
mhm,
And I just did a video about this that I put on my real estate page about self-employed people getting financed because you have to have a plan. If
mhm,
all of your documents are not in order, it's not going to work.
mhm,
And but it's hard when you're just and a lot of times I feel like entrepreneurs especially kind of exist in their own little
mhm.
space. They don't go outside and ask for help. They're
Right.
struggling on their own and they're trying to figure it out on their own because that's kind of it's in their nature to kind of go out and just make it happen. But that's something the financing side is something that everybody needs help with
Absolutely.
and getting it all ready for your long and having a long-term plan. Not
Mhm,
just I just want to create this business and do it. You have to have
mhm,
a plan. Like where are you going with it?
mhm.
So it's so funny that you're saying all this
Yeah.
because that's exactly what I've been thinking about for
Mhm.
the
And
last
it's
month
the
or
truth.
so.
It's not like I said, and we push that a lot because a lot of the businesses that do fail entrepreneurs is a lack of access to capital. It
Mm-hmm.
is not that the banks don't want to, it's how you approach them and having your finances in order, having what you need you're prepared to when you go and knock on that door. All banks
Sure.
want to make a loan, and we love our bankers. We have a lot of bankers in our chamber. I love them all, and I try to find that specific product or service because they all lend money.
Right.
Okay, they
Right.
they all lend money. They all have checking accounts, saving accounts, but each one, Jenna, has something that makes them special.
Yes.
There's no bank better than the other. Every single bank has something special. So I encourage everybody to go to your banker, do the resource, check the banks, and see what is that special that each bank has.
That's such a good point. I've been interviewing lenders for myself because I want to be able to have that resource for home buyers. And you're exactly right. Every bank has its own product, or they have their special spin on maybe access that the government is providing. Like, this is the product that we're providing. This is how we're going to offer it to the consumer. And for this bank, with self-employment especially, they're focusing a lot on that particular group. So that particular bank is going to be great for somebody that's a buyer in that area.
Exactly.
But just like what you're saying, every bank has its own special thing.
Yes.
So interviewing them, talking to them, if one bank isn't willing or doesn't, is difficult to work with, or is making it too hard, or you just don't get along, or whatever the case might be, find the access to the other one, because they might be able to make it a little bit easier for you. Every banker has their own personality.
Yes,
Everyone,
absolutely.
you can work a little bit better maybe with one than another. Our temperaments make that,
Yes.
So I have a question. As far as like the companies that you're seeing, the businesses, do you see a lot more brick and mortar businesses, or do you see more online, or is it a mix of both?
No, they're more brick and mortar. Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, no, we don't have that many online. We have more brick and mortar. And very few that don't have an office. I'll tell you, the ones that don't have an office, we do facilitate a workspace at the chamber if they need it, especially like I want to say realtors, which is the ones that require that, or counselors, counseling people that do family counseling. Those are the one. And I've, with all the change that we've had a thing about for businesses that we'll be using some of our, trying to downsize and then using our workspace for counseling purposes and for meeting their clients at the, always the professional setting is important, and while they have to, as long as they don't go out of business, we're glad to help them. And the ones that are more struggle are the ones that are in sales. I want to say sales. I mean, listen, every business requires sales. Every profession tells you have sales. You got to sell everything. You got to sell memberships. You got to sell insurance. You got to sell houses. You got to sell cars. You have to sell. We got to sell events. I got to sell consulting, opportunities. Everything is numbers.
Yes.
If we go on numbers, that's why we push out and say, know your numbers.
Know your numbers. That's right.
Numbers, chica, because that's the only way we're going to continue going, moving forward.
It's like, especially with people like counselors, that's not their forte. Their forte is talking to people, but you have to have people to talk to. And that sales side is very challenging for some. I've had to rethink, and you have to make calls, and you have to be willing to have a little bit of, nose dealing with that. Yes. So when you started talking about sales, how did you get people to join? Like, what was your sales pitch?
Okay. Well, let me tell you this. One thing that I've always been passionate about, Jenna, when you form an organization, not just a chamber, when you form an organization, it's something that you have to think. You do your research. You have to see the big vision, because when you start something, it's not for a limited time. It's not for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. No, when you start something good that you want to make an impact, you start something and you make sure that it stays there after you're gone. You leave it forever for future generations. And that's one of my goals that I had when I started this chamber. I founded first Hispanic Heritage Ambassadors. That's where, part of this came together to make it different. I've been passionate about service all my life. I was lucky enough to serve as a cabinet advisor on a visit to Mexico when Vicente Fox was president. Couldn't stay on that position because I'm not a Mexican born. I was born in Panama. I have military family. My mother's from Mexico. So that kind of, and I've never been interested in having a dual citizenship. So that kind of disqualified me from continue being in that position. But the opportunity of going and seeing how they work, which is totally different how from we work, it gave me the opportunity as to understand and see how can we help this market, and embrace it and integrate it and to do things how it's done in the U.S. And then I formed the Hispanic Heritage Ambassadors. I had a nonprofit called Casa Chihuahua, just for Chihuahua people. Chihuahua is the largest state in Mexico. Okay, my mother's from Chihuahua. All our family from mom's side is in Chihuahua. Okay, and it's a commercial state. It's not a poor state. It's a commercial state. Chihuahua is a commercial state. It's powerful.
We don't talk about states in Mexico.
Yeah.
Like, I don't ever hear people talk about the states in Mexico.
It's important to know.
Yes.
It's important to know what states you can, you really want to collaborate. In what states are going to be profitable for both. Because when you do trades, Jenna, it's not just about taking from here over there. It's about bringing from over there here and bringing the good, bringing the best. So it's something that you have to really dive into and kind of understand before you get into that. We haven't done any trades yet, any missions, but we do plan to, not right now, but it is on our forecast to do it. And I formed Casa Chihuahua. Then I was just serving Chihuahua people. So then I said, okay, people from Guanajuato, Zacatecas, different parts of Mexico came because they get to know you. They see the face. Univision did a lot of interviews. They did support me tremendously. So a lot of people know me.
Oh, you had support from Univision.
Absolutely.
That's amazing.
Like I said, I started 27 years ago when I got here. I said, I'm not going to work for anybody. What am I going to do? I had a bilingual tabloid-sized newspaper. That's when I joined the chamber in Grand Prairie.
Really?
The American chamber. But there was no interest, in the Spanish side. So I said, okay, so let's keep focused, keep moving. And then I founded the Hispanic Heritage Ambassadors for everybody, for all Hispanics. And kept growing, continued doing, and bringing cultural events. We did our first cultural events with 7 to 12 people showing up, and now look at the Fiestas Patrias. And when you understand and try to serve your community first, you see the need because people start coming to you. I want to form a business. Hey, I have a business. And that's how I started. Okay. So, and I'm a dinosaur. But one thing that I'm really strong about, I document everything. I take notes. I'm not the best writer in English or Spanish. And Spanish perfect, pero English no. But I will document everything. And I write and I take notes. And our logistic, we have families. Our logistic books are amazing. It's now an Excel spreadsheet. But you look at it and I have everything. I have all the information from negocios, from families, where they're at, everything. And we keep that confidential, of course. But that helped me tremendously because we knew we have these families here that have negocios. We have these families here that need mental health assistance, that need immigration, that are going through domestic violence issues, that teens that have, their anxiety, their problems. So this is how you get to learn. I say, well, we can't just do business to business, Jenna. Our business has to serve the community, and the community has to serve the business. And businesses can support the community needs that are there. And how do you do it? Understanding. Because it's okay for us to have the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, to have Hispanic heritage, because we understand our culture. That's who we are. Right? We don't intend to be separated, no, but we do intend to serve our fast growing community, the needs that we have, so we can better educate them and guide, not that we're ignorant, but better understand, guide them, and share the resources and share opportunities and make sure that they know, okay, you want to start a business in the city? This is how we do it. Let's do it right. Your kid is having mental issue problems, or you're having, okay, we have the services available, and but it's okay to speak about it.
Yes.
Because in our culture, it's not okay. We use the word loco, crazy, and that's not so, Jenna.
Yeah.
We need to stop that and understand when there's a need, especially in the times that we're living. Mental health is the issue that's hurting our families, and we need to speak about it. We need to let our kids know it's okay if they have problems to go talk to their counselors, to talk to their parents, or to speak to somebody that they know is out there willing to listen. And I'm really passionate about this.
Yeah.
And
it's a huge problem.
It's a huge problem.
It is. Yes. It is. These kids just, they have a lack of, it's optimism. So they don't have optimism about the future or their own future. They tend to, and they don't see their parents. Even for me, like I have a very open relationship with my daughter, but there's always going to be that fear from your child that I can't talk to mom about this. She won't understand. And it's like, there's nothing I've been through that there's nothing you're going to go through that I haven't already thought through. So it's having that open dialogue, but that is a cultural thing. There is,
like kind of along the same lines, but not really. Whenever I worked in assisted living, I was noticing that the Hispanic culture did not generally have, they didn't put mom in an assisted living community, no. But I was starting to see it more frequently because it was becoming more okay. Mm-hmm. It's not a mark on your family that you've put mom somewhere that she's going to have more friends and all these things, but you're starting to see a little bit more of that openness. The Asian community is kind of the same way. Like there are cultures that are very multi-generational. Mm-hmm. They all live together in the same house. That's kind of part of the thing. But it's like, as you see these cultural things shift, that's where you can really learn and kind of help guide. Mm-hmm. And mental health is one of them. I mean, that's definitely something that is,
you know, we have a really good relationship. I have a good relationship with my members. I like to know how can, and that's one thing that sets us, you know, that I can walk into a room and I know everybody. I know most of my members unless they've switched the hiring person or the community expert. But I walk in a room, Jenna, and I can tell you just by looking at the face, I might not remember the name, but I know the company they're with. And I've been able to do that because when they sign as a member, I want to meet them. I want to see, okay, it's a short application, but what are your needs? What are you expecting? Because not just our chamber, any chamber, Jenna, you go, you're going to get out what you put in.
Absolutely.
You know that. It's not pay a membership
it's not magic
and never show up. No, mijita. No. Work your membership.
That's right.
Okay. And not only you're wanting to grow your business, you wanted to get connected, but how's your family doing? How are your kids? How can the chamber also help you on your community, on your family? That's where the community comes in. Because this might be a business that's trying to grow, but because they have that son, that daughter, that wife that has a problem, they've been holding back from going full force at it. So you have to get to know and understand not only their business part, but we as humans need to understand what is hurting on that family that we as a chamber can look out. We have hospitals. We have our police department, with victims of violence, of mental problems. So it's okay for them so they can continue their path to grow and bring a better life to these kids or this family. It's okay to let them know, you know what? Our city has this remarkable, amazing programs to help you move forward. Right. And it's okay to speak up.
And not only that, but it's like if you're a person that's trying to make a business work, you get very involved in that business and you can sometimes neglect your family life. So it's like you're working 24 hours a day and it's like, where's the line?
And where's your family? You have to draw a line.
That's right.
Because when people decide to be a business owner, it doesn't mean you're going to be working 24/7. No, mijita.
Right.
When you decide to be a business owner, that means that you have made up your mind. You're going to have your schedule and make it work around your family, because the way that you become successful, and this is a work order for everybody, I don't care who it is, God, family, and work. That's your work order. Do not look for anything else because it doesn't work. When they ask me, Mary, what's your work order? God, family, and work. What are your colors? Red, white, and blue. And my favorite color is green. That's everybody's favorite color, Jenna. We're all in business to make money.
That's right.
And you know what? I could care less who you're at. I could care less with your political views. I can collaborate with you if we all are moving to the right path and serving everybody.
Right.
Those are my colors.
I will say one thing that because I've grown up in this town my whole life.
Yes.
I've always lived in Grand Prairie. One thing I've always admired about the Hispanic community is their entrepreneurial spirit.
Oh, yes.
And I've talked about this a lot. It's like, even the guy that's pushing the ice cream cart, that guy has started a business. Yeah. And he's got something to sell, but it's definitely, there's a spirit within that culture. Yeah. So have you seen that too?
I have seen it. And you know what? Their pride. One thing you're not going to take away from the paleteros or the people selling those balls, as we did in the parks in Mexico, is that's their spirit, Jenna. That's what they know how to do. And we need to understand that's where they feel comfortable. But we can also need to understand, how can we help this paletero? Is this what he wants to do? A lot of them work in different areas, and that's just their extra income. A lot of them are illiterate, Jenna. Illiterate.
Really?
And we need the paleteros. They didn't have an opportunity to go to school because they dedicated their life to growing, to putting food on the table for the familias.
Right.
And we see this. So we have to be more, considered when we see this. the world is just crazy, and I see a lot of posts, and it's just very disheartening to see what people can really post out there, because they don't understand. And it goes to understanding the culture. Our culture, these people were raised, dedicated to putting food on the table, the kids. So they didn't have time to go to school because they were busy putting food on the tables. And it was no 8 to 5, Jenna. It was no 8 to 5. And I'm telling you, I mean, I was blessed. My mother, before she married my dad, who was in the U.S. Army, she crossed the river in El Paso. She used to clean houses. So we have to understand. And I remember when we didn't have food, my father went missing 3 years, missing in
Oh my
action,
goodness.
when he served the war. And I remember my mom, even though the money would come in, I think on the first of the month, the check they were saying that, she would get. I remember there were times, Jenna, that all we had in the fridge was tomato and corn tortillas and butter and the Kool-Aid, the Kool-Aid with no sugar. I remember those days.
Oh, Kool-Aid
And I
with no
remember
sugar.
my oldest sister chopping up the corn tortillas, putting them in the pan with butter and tomato, and then giving us the Kool-Aid. And the Kool-Aid, I mean, I remember, to make us happy, she would put the little packet, she would put the pitcher with no sugar, of course, the pitcher, and then she would put the little, because we loved, my brother and myself, we loved the pitcher, the Kool-Aid
guy,
pitcher.
yeah.
And then she would talk while we would eat, and she would see that picture, and that just made us happy.
Oh, wow.
And we couldn't see the difference, but mom didn't come home because she was working, those 3 years. So that's the kind to serve, you have to understand our culture. And that's one thing that I love doing. And we're go-getters, we're hardworking people. As far as like the chamber, I want to say that we don't tend to think, we don't want free stuff, Jenna. You're not going to see us asking, can you give me this? No. I want, in our board, I have a really good board. I tell them, we always ask for things. Hey, can you give us a better deal? If we rent this, can you give us do we have a special rate that we can get? Or, we want to rent this space. We want to have this reception, what have you. What price can you give us? But we never ask for free. We do not ask for free.
Negotiation.
I mean,
It's
that's
everything
all.
is a negotiation.
And it's everywhere. And I tell, and I have a really good talk with, we have a very good, to make things work. Not only do you need a great leader, a city leader, like our mayor in Georgia. Georgia's our queen, Bessie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
Bessie. I call her La Bessie.
I need to have Bessie on because I need to have her on.
You have to. She's amazing. And Miss Georgia también. Miss Georgia, she's a spiritual guide. She's amazing.
Yes.
And that's what it takes. It's having the right people that'll make your work easier, if you want to say that. I constantly looked for collaborations. I just went from talking from family to talking out about the chamber. But you have to have the right people, Jenna, that want to help you in what you're trying to do. I'm proud of our city. I really am. I can go to Dallas, Fort Worth, Arlington, but you know what? There's no place like Grand Prairie.
There's not.
Grand Prairie, we are different.
We are.
We are a community city. Everybody helps everybody. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody helps everybody. We're different.
We are. And you take it for granted if you live here.
Yes.
Sometimes.
Yes.
We have, first of all, we have a very civically minded group of people. One of my favorite things to do is go back into newspapers.com, and they've got all of our digital, we lost our screen. Hold on. Let me just make sure that it didn't turn on. I'll cut this part out.
Okay. There we go.
There we go. Okay. But it's got all the digital. It's got digital papers from decades of the Grand Prairie Daily News, and the civics side of things is and Grand Prairie has always been very progressive when it comes to including members of the community. Like even though we had Dalworth, which was the Black neighborhood, and they had a huge civics organization, and the city was always very supportive of that.
They've been very supportive.
So it's very cool to see, because it's definitely ingrained in our city. We have a huge nonprofit side that helps in all kinds of ways. That's one of the reasons I wanted to start this podcast, is because the thing about our city that's also unique is the length of the miles. So from the top to the bottom, it's like there's a huge distance. So it's like, even though you're in the south side of Grand Prairie, that's now gone all the way down to 287, you're still a part of Grand Prairie.
Yes.
So how do you know what businesses or nonprofits or civic organizations are on this side if you live on this side? How can we connect that and keep that community spirit? So I'm right there with you. Like, it's something that as I've gotten older, I've come to really appreciate about Grand Prairie. It's very different. It's very different.
It is. It's growing, and it's going in a good direction. And, I'm very passionate about demographics. I'm constantly looking and checking on the demographics, making sure, we're on top of everything. I'm constantly looking at legislative issues, calling, and emailing our state people, and not only from our state people, but other state reps, because you got to have different views, Jenna, and you have to see everything that's going on, and being able to balance and see different perceptions, different views. That's amazing. That's what makes individuals remarkable.
Sure.
Being able to communicate, being able to respect different views, but still sit down at the table and collaborate and bring something positive that will impact our community in a positive way.
Absolutely.
And I'm very much involved in that. We just made our visit to Austin.
So did I. I went on Wednesday.
You went on Wednesday? Well, the Grand Prairie Hispanic Chamber of Commerce is part of the Texas Hispanic Chamber of Commerce Coalition. Listen, there's Dallas Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, Irving Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, San Antonio, and Austin. They formed that coalition. Now you have 14 chambers: El Paso, Dallas, Fort Worth, Irving, Midland, Odessa, Rio Grande, Corpus Christi, San Antonio, Austin. There's 14 of us. Now, for me, that's a big honor, being part of such a amazing. You're talking about these wonderful monsters. The Dallas Hispanic Chamber, which I happen to be part of. When I got here 27 years ago, and I did, one of their decorations back then, and I didn't even have my company yet, so just imagine how it's always so good to leave doors open.
Yes.
Because you look back now, I look at the pictures and I said, oh my God, was that me? And I did that centerpiece.
You seem like the type that would be I'm going to get the sale before I even have the company.
Right. And it was just, looking at all 85 years, you go, oh my God. And every time they invite us, because they invite us, I like to collaborate. When they invite us to their events, I'm honored.
That's awesome.
I feel honored because I know the job that it takes, and I know every president, not only in the Hispanic chambers, but every chamber.
Yes.
I know the work that they put into. I know the passion that they must have, to come and sit and take and see and recruit and retain. It's not easy.
It's not easy.
Because being a chamber president is not only sitting down and looking pretty and getting invited to all these VIP events. No, it's recruitment and retention, looking for opportunities, researching, programs, grants, opportunities, opening doors, making sure that our businesses are thriving.
Yes.
Because that's what's going to make us look good.
That's right.
And now our chamber's not, we don't do a lot of galas. I don't like spending money like that. I believe more in having workshops and trainings versus our galas. Our two biggest events are the ones that we do, the El Grito, Gala Mexicana, State of the Chamber, and Tributo Latino Small Business Awards. Those are our three big events for the year. Oh, I'm sorry. And the Empower, Embrace, Excel, the Women's Expo. That event we started through Hispanic Heritage 15 years ago.
Wow.
And the last 4 years we tied it in with the chamber, and we took it from Hispanic Heritage and gave it because in businesses, I don't know if you saw that, I won't remember this, but I know that we collaborated with the STEM Girls of Dubisky. But
oh, wow.
The facts were, Texas is home of the 3 million businesses, with 99.8% being small negocios and 1.25% being women-owned business. How are we not going to grow his Empower, Embrace, Excel Women's Expo? Girl,
seriously?
Is thriving. Yes.
That's it?
1.25% are women-owned.
Wow, that seems really low.
No, it's not low.
Is it?
No. And these are from if you look at the Texas Resource Guide with the Office of the Governor, that's where you're going to get your figures.
Wow.
We visited them 2-3 weeks ago, March 5th, and they had all this. I said, okay, I want the statistics. And the guy there is amazing. If you ever take a trip again to Austin, go to the Texas Economic Office.
Oh,
They
wow.
have the figures, they have the money, they have what you need to give you the right resources. And Janie Gavel, I think I'm not sure if she's in Arlington, but she's a great resource to have from the office of the governor. Straight from the horse's mouth, you get those facts. They had a great presentation for us with demographics, with numbers, with businesses, with industries. It was just amazing. And they embraced Jenna.
I cannot believe it's just 1 point. Like that
Percent.
seems, I know percent of, I wonder if it's corporate companies that are registered with the state.
In Texas, yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
in Texas.
All right. So not just like people that are just doing things, but it's like if you're actually registered with the state.
Look, we have people that, and we get calls. I don't know how many calls we get a day. I have my business. Tengo mi negocio. Okay, ¿qué es lo que hace? What do you do? Oh, pues, I do hats. Okay, where's your business? En la casa. Okay, did you register at home? Did you register your business? Are you doing? No, pues no. Okay, you need to register your business. It's not a business, Jenna. One thing we need to educate our public. First, we got to be honest to be able to provide honesty. If you do not have a business registration, you are not a business.
Right. It's
Simple
a hobby.
as that.
It's a hobby.
Exactamente. And we tell them all the time, okay, what are your plans? Like I said, when they want to join our chamber, it's not just pay the member. No. Because the last thing that you want to hear is saying, oh, well, they didn't help me. Well, you're not a business. How many events did you come? We've had members that pay their membership and don't show up or have come to one or two events, and I haven't seen them for 3 years. I still remember them. They continue paying.
But it's not doing them any good.
But it's not doing them. I don't need that money. I want you to come and be part of us.
Right.
Be an active business. Be an active member. And I'm not the only one going through this. I talk to other chambers in Mary. They don't show up.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll show up for the drinks, the appetizers, the food, but for a workshop, a training, a luncheon. And I understand, Jenna, it's hard right now. People are not showing up to work, or people are cutting down on their personnel. So what do I do as a business owner? If you're a small office with 3 people, do I go and sit at a luncheon, or do I sit here in my business and try to grow my business and answer the phone? That's a tough decision for a small business owner.
Absolutely.
So we need to make sure and understand. And there's different, and we tell, one of the things that we talk to our businesses about is also, we have our school district. Our school district has the MOUs, has a partnership with the students. We have a partnership with the district. We use their interns.
Yes.
And we give them an opportunity, if they're in the business industry, to form their business. If they do 1-year internship with the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and they're starting their own business, we do that formation for them at no cost.
Wow, that's amazing.
They got to give us a year. So that's one thing. And one thing that we're going to start working is now with the STEM. It's another project we have, and I'll talk about it later on. Hopefully at another program, you'll give us the opportunity, and we can bring Elizabeth Guerra, who is a vice president of workshop and development at Dallas College, and she's on our board of directors.
Yes. We will make that happen. Because I think that's very, very important.
And once we talk with a couple of other people here in GPISD, we can let you know what
I'm interviewing the superintendent. Hopefully, I'm not speaking for him, but the new superintendent that's
from
coming,
Chihuahua.
He has so much support already,
yeah,
like in the community,
because he worked here.
He did. And so it's really exciting. So I reached out and I was like, do you think that he'd be willing? I reached out to one of our school members. I was like, do you think he'd be willing to come on? But I want to have those interns interview him too, because nobody ever has the students ask questions like that. But we have an amazing group of kids that works for that is in the district. And I'm like, I want y'all to be a part. That's one of my visions for my own podcast. Get those interns in here. If you want to learn how to have these conversations with people in your community, learn how to interview your civic servants and all these people, and learn how to do things like audio visual editing. These are all things that are skills that they'll need to know in this, in the industry that we're in, the economy and everything. Technology is where it's going in a lot of places. But yeah, our school district does an amazing job with all of these.
They do. And, I'm proud that we have. And one thing that we do when we have our interns is we share that opportunity. I always push with my members. Make sure if you're needing office help that you reach out to the district, ask about their program, and see how you can get this interns. It's a double win. You're training them, or they're helping you because they're more advanced or future generations.
Yes.
And if you get to have a job opportunity, you can hire them. And these kids already got, experience, the knowledge. Now they need the experience. Help them. Help
Yes.
them. It's a two-way, and share it with all the members.
And this is when it comes going back to that mental health, when you're talking about these kids, bringing them up in a mentorship mindset
Yes.
is what gives them hope for the future.
Yes.
Because you're giving them information, they're giving them guidance, and they have that place where they can see themselves in the future and in their community. And so I'm all about that. Like, I think the younger generation is what we always need to be looking down to that next generation. How can we help grow them up? How can we help them? And that's something I ask every single city council member I ever talk to. Who do you see that you can grow up to take your place at some point? How can you help them grow into that community and be that person that's going to have a good servant's mindset? But as we get to the end of this time, because you're gonna come back, you have so many great ideas, and I want to bring on the person you're talking about. Talk about, first of all, where is your chamber at, and how can people find you?
Okay, our chamber is located at 2100 Virginia Drive, Suite B, right next to the Englewood Church and the little plaza. That's where we're at.
Okay.
Now we're open Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Okay, we follow the same schedule as the city and the school district. If it's a holiday, you're not going to find us there. But one thing that does set that apart, if you go on our website, grandprairiehispanicchamber.org, my cell phone is all over the place. And I always tell my members and everybody, do not let our schedule, our office hours hold you back. My cell phone is available 7 days a week. Okay? Not 24 hours, because I do want to get some sleep.
Yes, absolutely.
But 7 days a week, and it works. These are one of the other things, Jenna, that have helped us grow, is being available. Available to answer member questions. And so if anybody needs any information, assistance, please let us know how we can help. If we don't have the answer because we don't know everything, we will find you the right answer, and try to guide you where to go for your questions. The Hispanic Chamber of Commerce is for everybody. We welcome everybody and anybody that wants to grow their business. Everybody is welcome to join us, to go on our website. We have several events coming up. April 14th is the Small Business Innovation Expo. We're going to have great workshops. So if they're looking to go, even if they just want to go, it's free general admission. Thank you to our sponsors. And for all our events, sorry about my English, all our events are posted on our website, and they're also done through Eventbrite. And all they have to do is go on the website and hit that, touch that, that flyer, that special event that they like, and it'll take them directly to Eventbrite. And, that's what we do. But I want to thank you for bringing us on board and for giving us the opportunity.
Yes.
And
my pleasure
to share what we are, who we are, what we do. And you know what? The Hispanic Chamber of Commerce is here to stay. We're here to grow, and we're here to thrive. And we're constantly looking for collaborations. Everybody, remember this, Jenna. My colors are red, white, and blue, and my favorite color is green.
Green.
Okay?
I love that.
And we want to be we want to have a place on the table, not on the menu. So invite us because we're everywhere. We love to collaborate.
Well, I look forward to how this podcast and we can work together, because I think that having like a news community kind of thing, like Univision, Univision is great. The local news is great, but it's not specific to Grand Prairie.
And I'll tell you one thing, all these media monsters are amazing. Okay. But everything is changing. Innovation.
Yes, absolutely.
So this podcast is what our entrepreneurs and what our businesses are going to be looking into.
That's right.
So definitely I see this as a great opportunity, a great marketing tool for our negocio. So I'm definitely going to, be in touch with you and share, collaborate what you have for our members and how we can support each other.
Yes.
Because that's how it goes.
Well, thank you, Mary.
No,
yes,
thank you.
I really appreciate you coming on and being
you.
and you were so quick to the response. So I appreciate that.
Thank you very
much. All right.
much.
Well, thank you so much. Have a great day.
You too. Thank you very much.